Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I thought we'd do a quick intro and the landing of the stairs here because we're going to head into the guest bathroom garden, which has that god-awful pinky purple Mars light going in it. So I thought I'd give you a second so you could have some warning first, because I did previously promise you a look at what's growing on in the upstairs bathroom garden. So yeah, today we'll start there. See, and that's the change in lighting that I'm talking about. It's a really nice light, and it's only running at like half capacity right now. It's on its vegetative setting. Let's see if we can turn it off. And yeah, the bathroom light itself, not giving us much to go on there. So I guess we're back to the purple. Watch your eyes. Kind of a purpley cat going on here. So things surviving up here include the carragana that was, in theory, supposed to poison the soil and make it impossible for anything else to grow. But we had a few different volunteer plants come up in here, including, if we follow this one, a tomato that found it in its heart to produce for us. So this is going to be, well, a lot of my seed stock for this coming year, because if this little tomato wanted to produce while in a bathroom and surrounded by kalanchoes, I think I called them carraganas earlier, but I was just out looking at this Siberian pea shrub, so that's a different video, different channel. Anyway, this should have killed off everything. This tomato was stubborn enough to survive and produce fruit in these strange little conditions. So yeah, I am going to plant this in the next few days, because we've had a few different farmers that we know tell us they found geese and seen geese in their fields. So I think that is going to be my new sign as to when I should start planting my tomatoes. When we hear about or start to see geese moving through, it's time. So yeah, we can barely see some light, kind of just, it's very spindly. But we've still got 2 out of these 3 pepper plants that are alive. And what's really kind of fun and amazing is that this one here, again, the lighting is just terrible, but this one here has tried time and time again to put on flowers. It just hasn't been able to do anything with them. And it's still got all of its accompanying volunteers growing in the bottom there, covering up the soil. That still doesn't seem to be a problem. I mean, there were concerns about nutrients being stolen by these, and you know, I do have some very discolored leaves on here, but these are also very old leaves. They're gonna discolor with time, and I mean, if it's still producing there's a flower right there. If it's still producing these nubs and flowers, it can't be in too much trouble. The kitten, on the other hand, needs to get his little butt out of the tub, because he is going to be in trouble. Anyway, we did lose the one pepper that unfortunately I actually knew what variety it was. The Bad Brains pepper has died off, and its wonderful bearding of oregano pretty much died off. But we have in the bottom a few places where, if you look, you know, amongst the dandelions and some type of very thin bladed grass that's growing in there, there are a few spots where the oregano is showing itself. So I'm hoping that when this planter goes back outside, that's going to explode with growth, or you know, whenever I cut down the dead pepper tree in the middle there, it will do something positive. So that's interesting. But yeah, our strange little upstairs bathroom winter garden is nice. You come up here, it's nice and warm from the light, and you've got all the plants, and the camera doesn't do it justice because of the LED light spectrum. But yeah, it's been nice to have these plants growing. And these pepper plants, never did see an aphid on these all winter long, so I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I hope that these 2 that survived the winter will survive going back outside. But let's move over to Studio 42 so I can get the kitten out of the tub down in the bottom there and show you what's going on with the seed hoard. So lighting in Studio 42 here still needs to be fixed up appropriate for plants and videos, but hopefully you can see this well enough. We've got some of the red Viking potatoes that were left over from last year that we've allowed to just kind of sprout and do their thing. We've got some pretty decent tails on here. So that will save us $8 at least and make next year's potato bunker effectively free, because these are saved from potatoes that we grew. And down here we also have some of the white variety that I can never remember the name of, but they have also sprouted up. Now, I'm not anywhere near as excited about those as I am about these, because these just grew much better and kept a lot better, and well, there are some seriously tasty taters there, so yeah. And otherwise, for plants up in Studio 42 right now, I've just kind of got some assorted house plants that I've rescued from various other parts of this was down in the basement, and you know, I thought maybe it might like a warmer environment. Seems to be doing fairly well. And we've got one of those purple trumpeting vines. This was down in the basement. This is the couple of spiders and a couple trumpeting vines, but that flower, if the camera will focus, sure is nice. Come on, focus. Anywho, yeah, I got a few little things in here getting started on that, claiming that back up. But I think, we'll talk about those RCs one of these days too. I think probably the most important thing going on up in the studio at the moment would be this little box of goodies right here, because every good gardener should have a hoard of seeds for some of their favorite stuff, just in case you end up with a year like this year when everybody goes nuts and seeds are just flying off the shelves before you can get there. Now, I went into town today, actually, to try and be one of those first people to go nuts and make sure I got the seeds that I wanted. And unfortunately, they're not in yet in town, and she was getting some grief apparently when she tried to order them, so I don't know if I'm going to have much in the way of new seeds to work with or not. So I really need to go through my little poor broken box here of seed hoard and see what I've got. I know I've got a ton of varieties of super hot peppers, and I also know that they're almost impossible to grow here, and I also know that they've been aphid problems for me in the past, so there are opportunities for me, but not a lot of solutions yet. We got, you know, a couple of different varieties of beans, green and purple beans. These purple beans did really well in the Three Sisters garden last year, but unfortunately, because I planted them in the middle of everything, they were a massive pain to try and harvest, so I didn't get as much out of that as I would have liked. And you gotta wonder what a bundle like this is all about, but with only one hand because of the camera, I can't really check. You know, I got some basil, some cucumbers. Oh, it should be good. Like, I even got some carrots in here. Oh, look at that. Some nice icicle radishes, some sunflowers. Hopefully they'll sprout. I got some Swiss chard. I got some cabbage. More peppers. What a surprise! Who else was really not surprised to find peppers in here? Okay, we got some dill. You know what? Aside from the fact that I kind of wanted to plant some more corn this year than I think I've got, I'm probably good to go because of the seed stash. Which is great, but I had kind of hoped to grow some more corn this year. So, yeah, I guess I'm okay if they've got some corn there, and they always have corn at the co-op, so that's good. I got corn, I got beans, I got squash, I got peppers, and, oh, of course, I've got the tomato project. These are all just, they have been sitting in this box, moving around the room and around the house, well, since I harvested them, because most of them were green and not quite ready to go yet. Now, these are the broad ripple cherry tomatoes that I got from Rob Bob all those years ago, and these are the most amazing short season prairie cherry tomato that I have stumbled across yet since we moved out to Manitoba here. These things, we've got them popping up as volunteers in the garden already. They're that willing to adapt to the environment, and clearly it's a productive variety, even though our season is like seconds long, right? So we've got this volunteer orangey yellow tomato. This is way overripe, though. It was was closer to this lemon yellow you see on the cherries at its prime, but I decided to let it go past so I could hopefully plant it. We got these. I didn't see a lot of tomato seeds in that little hoard, so I'm going to have to look around. But it'd be nice to have some big red Cherokees, or even some Better Boys or something. It'd be nice. We'll see. The odds that I don't have some tomato seeds kicking around somewhere in the house are pretty remote. But as I said, we've seen some geese. We've heard about some geese from some farmers, I should say, and I am going to try and use that as my "it's time to get going on your tomatoes and peppers." So yeah, I need to find some potting soil, I need to find all my planting containers, and I need to get some seeds into some dirt if I'm going to try and have me any potatoes or tomatoes or any kind of produce this year. So it's, I guess it's officially begun. My garden season is back on track. We are ready to rock and roll. And yes, I'm still feeling pretty good about things. So yeah, thank you all for sticking around with me in this quick look at what is growing on in the guest bathroom garden upstairs here, and kind of what's growing on in Studio 42, and taking a look at my seed hoard. There's a lot of interesting things in there, so I'm not quite sure what the heck I'm going to title this video. Well, I guess I'll go find out when I edit it, eh? Alright, much love everybody, and I will see you probably in the next couple of days as we explore something totally different. Alright.